Hey everybody, Drew here for Drew Games. Welcome to the second episode of Breaking Rocks, in which my younger brother Desert Nord and I, aka Rob, go over some stupid shit on the internet. And also on today's episode, as you can see by what I'm wearing, my Vikings apparel, that we are going to be talking about our thoughts and whatnot for the first round of the NFL draft, which is this Thursday, as you're seeing this on Monday, as it is being currently recorded. With that being said, joining me over here via Xbox Live, yet my younger brother Desert Nord, aka Rob. Hey, bro.
Hey there. How you doing?
I'm gonna turn this up a bit more, just in case. Yeah. So, on today's show, we're going to be discussing, first and foremost, YouTube CEO was given an award for supporting free speech. That's no joke. I have no joke, guys.
Yeah, you can really make that one up if you wanted.
Yeah.
If you did make it up, no one would believe you.
Well, when I first saw it, I thought it was made up.
Yeah, I know.
We're also going to be talking about YouTube allows a false copyright strike on Geeks and Gamers. We'll get into that. Cincinnati Bengals, a bar in Cincinnati, Ohio, to ban showing NBA games at their bar because of the LeBron James tweets. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention this before we started filming too. NBA to feature Marvel heroes in NBA games to try to boost ratings. We'll get into that. So,
yep.
They're desperate. And finally, we'll get into all 32 teams, or pick spots, if you will, for the first round of the upcoming NFL draft, and our thoughts on what each team ought to be doing, per se.
Yep.
So with that being said, YouTube, the very platform that we are on, that I film stuff for, that Desert Nord does stuff on too as well. The logo you see on the screen right here. The very platform that, as the CEO said in her acceptance speech for this award, deleted 9 million videos in the last quarter.
Yep.
Free speech, huh?
Yes. The lovely 1984 definition of free speech.
If YouTube is a bastion of free speech, then so was communist Russia.
Yeah, it's the deleting of videos that they disagree with the content of is rampant on their website.
Oh yeah.
And it's not even oh well, we removed things because they were threats of violence or whatever. No. This is controversial opinion stuff that gets removed, and copyright strike stuff that gets removed all day long, every day, and it has nothing to do with free speech whatsoever. It's a complete joke.
Absolutely. And speaking of that, of videos getting removed and copyright struck down, Geeks and Gamers is facing a false copyright strike by one Alan Campbell or whatever your last name is. I don't care at this point. For the dog reacting to Darth Vader for the first time from TikTok or Instagram or wherever it was from.
It was from TikTok. Yeah.
In which Josiah from Josiah Rises and Geeks and Gamers set it up by talking about the video before showed it, and then talked about it afterwards. Therefore making it fair use at that point.
Yeah, you'd think.
Yeah. No, it's one thing to get copyright claimed, like the last episode of the Drew Games podcast did for a Tom McDonald video, which I understand. But because I didn't pause it throughout, so I understand, and I own that copyright claim, but it's not a strike, it's just a claim, so I can't monetize it. Newsflash, the whole channel isn't monetized. I don't give a fuck. So,
yeah.
Go ahead and claim whatever. I don't make
point,
shit at this.
At no point is anyone among us making money doing this. So
yeah. Claim copyright. Fine, go ahead. Go ahead and make money on it. I don't care. Speaking of wanting to make money, a bar in Cincinnati, Ohio, evidently is intending on banning showing NBA games at their bar because of LeBron James's dangerous tweets about a police officer who did his job in protecting a citizen from getting stabbed.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to mention what LeBron actually said to this cop?
Yeah, he tweeted, "You're next."
Because
in the context of shooting.
Yeah, because this cop shot the perpetrator, who was a teenager and black, obviously. Otherwise, LeBron James wouldn't give a single shit about a black cop shooting a black perpetrator.
There's a lot of things he wouldn't give a shit about.
He also didn't give a shit that the potential victim of this knife-wielding maniac was also black, by the way.
Oh, yeah, well, here's the thing. You had a fight that ensued.
Yeah.
And it was stupid, by the way. It was over who was going to do chores.
Yeah.
And you had two guys kicking and punching and everything else.
It was two girls, to my knowledge.
Yeah, well, there was a guy involved. I know that because I saw the video.
Okay.
But yeah, Micaiah was the one that got shot, and she's the one that brought a knife.
Yeah.
And last time I checked,
that's a weapon.
That's how you get shot.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if a cop is watching you attempt to stab someone.
Yeah. And coincidentally, recently also, another police officer posted a video trolling LeBron James into oblivion about
sure,
all
it's
of
ridiculous. It's a ridiculous comment. The guy didn't do anything wrong. He did exactly what he's supposed to do. Prevent a murder.
If you guys want to check out that video, Black and White Sports did something about it, as did Sports Wars of Geeks and Gamers as well. So go check that out, because that's actually a very funny troll by that officer, and I appreciated it. Speaking of the NBA and desperation, NBA to feature Marvel heroes like Iron Man, Black Widow, whom are both dead.
Yep.
Into the NBA. So from the article that I'm aware of, evidently there's going to be hero points involved, and the heroes are to draft players to play for their team, representing that hero. And if you score points in the game, you get hero points, and I don't know what the hero points are going to do. It's just a convoluted fuck of a mess.
Yeah.
And it screams desperation because, well, ESPN, you know how much they go to bat for LeBron James and the other dipshits and the NBA in general, and Major League Baseball. And as we all know, ESPN is owned by Disney. Spoilers.
Oh, yes, very.
So obviously there was going to be something. I'm just surprised that they're not trying to use The Mandalorian or something at this point for this.
Sure.
Because Marvel isn't what it used to be for its name at this point, for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because look at how popular WandaVision was. Not many people actually liked it, if any at all.
Yeah, it was, it started out okay, but it went completely south.
Yeah. So
by the end of it, people were like, what even is this?
And
You
second,
know, even fans of the characters were like, "What is this show?
and
Why do they do this?"
and secondly, it would make more sense if you're going to do this stupid shit with the Disney stuff and the NBA. Seeing as how The Mandalorian isn't going to be on Disney Plus until 2022, 2023, God knows when, trying to keep The Mandalorian or Mando or the characters from that universe in the public eye would be a good business decision, right?
You would think.
So why not use them instead of a dead brand like Marvel at this point? Even though Star Wars is kind of slightly dead, it got re-killed again with the firing of Gina Carano.
Yeah.
Because it started coming back to life, and then Disney quickly put it back down again with that. But that's rehashing old wounds again. All of it comes down to ESPN, NBA, and Disney are all desperate for anyone to care. Well, here's an idea to get people to care. Stop Stop fake pandering into an ideology, Disney, that you clearly don't care about. Because if you cared about inclusiveness, you would have been doing it your whole entire existence.
Yep.
Same thing goes for ESPN and the NBA.
None of these corporation run channels, whatever you want to call them. None of them have ethics. None of them have any actual beliefs. What they do is they try their best to pretend. It's a little game called marketing. And in this case, it's mind marketing. And they think that doing that is going to help them.
Yeah.
They're either trying to protect themselves from the mob, the Twitter mob, or they are jumping in for no reason into it because they themselves are an activist.
Yeah. So.
And either way, it's very bad and dumb and should stop.
Yeah, so. In regards to that bar banning NBA, good. They deserve it at this point because it's not even worth watching. I personally haven't cared about watching NBA since Michael Jordan was with the Bulls. So that'll tell you how long ago that was.
Yeah, very, very few worthwhile players have been around for a while now.
The last worthwhile one might have been Kobe, but...
Yeah, I mean, like mid-2000s at the latest.
Yeah.
Everything after that is a joke.
Absolutely. So with that being said, speaking of jokes, onto the NFL.
Yeah, one of the biggest.
However, we're not here to talk about that stuff. We're just here to go over our expectations for the NFL draft. So, positive stuff. I know, right?
Yeah.
Or at least hopefully anyway. So, all we're going to be doing is just going over each team picking in the first round and go back and forth and see what you and I think the other might do. Now, I haven't been following the offseason all that much for the NFL for obvious reasons. But picking first is the Jacksonville Jaguars in the first round.
Yep.
So, what do you think they're going to do with the first overall pick?
Well, they historically have gone defense.
Yeah.
And usually D-liner or linebacker. Now, whether or not that jives with the draft board, I don't quite know.
How is Gardner Minshew as quarterback for them at this point?
It's surprisingly good, actually, at least in fantasy
anyway.
Which sometimes translates to real life, but
so their offense is relatively average to okay then?
I wouldn't say that he's a problem.
At least at this point.
I believe their defense is in rebuild mode. That's the problem.
So linebacker or defensive lineman, basically.
Yeah, I would think.
picking at
if they're
two.
being smart, which they always seem to go with defense. I mean, it was a kind of a shock that they drafted Gardner himself. That was like 1 in 10 years.
Well, not if you
Because
count. Not if you
they
count
had been
Blaine
picking up.
Gabbert.
Okay, yeah. Well, besides Blaine, it was utterly forgettable.
Yeah, who was an obvious bust.
Yeah.
But picking at number 2 is the Jets.
Yeah, and the Jets, the whole team is in rebuild after after their recent mistakes.
So with that being said,
I mean, they have some defensive players that they've gotten from the free agency, but they're going to need offense big time.
Did Sam Darnold? I think he was the quarterback.
He's been a failure so far.
I believe he got traded, or was those just rumors?
I don't know. Maybe if he did, that would probably be a good decision.
And if that's the case, then they would probably have to be going quarterback at 2. Then more than likely.
Yeah. If they don't have anybody, they're gonna have to get somebody.
And then
but that's not a good place to be in either.
Yeah, well, we'll see based on this quarterback draft, because this is supposed to be an average to good one for quarterbacks at least.
Yeah.
Right. So picking at 3 is the 49ers. They really fell off.
But, yeah, they really did fall off.
But to my knowledge, this pick was actually from a trade. I didn't write any of that down, but I did see that like a couple of top 10 picks were flipped back and forth between a couple teams via trade. I think Miami and the Niners or something.
Yeah. There was a lot of trades that went on.
Yeah, so I think this might have been initially the Dolphins pick, but the Niners are at 3, though.
Sure, yeah.
So the San Francisco 49ers, what are you thinking for the Niners?
Well, they're going to need a wide receiver core after what they've been through, I'm pretty sure.
So we're thinking wide receiver goes at number 3 to the Niners then, basically.
Yeah, I should reference the rosters as I'm discussing this.
Yeah. So at number 4, we got the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
Obviously, they got Matt Ryan still. They're not going to do anything there in the first round, at least. I'm thinking probably offensive line here. You? Because
yeah, I gotta switch to that one. Let's see.
Because Matt Ryan has obviously spent most of his time as a Falcon on his ass. Outside of the 1 year that they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they're going to have to really think about where they want to go with a lot of these positions. They're pretty, I don't know, deep, I guess you could say, at running back.
Yeah, so obviously that's a no there.
Yeah, they do not need running back. They probably don't need wide receiver. So offense is kind of pretty stacked. Looks like they need offensive line, though.
Like I was just saying, because of their history with Matt Ryan, most of the highlights of his career are largely him getting sacked.
Looks like they'd go tackle on that.
Yeah. At 5,
offensive tackle for sure.
At 5, we got the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
Obviously, Barlow or whatever his name is should be coming back from that injury. So they should.
Yeah.
So they should
Joe
be.
Burrow. Yeah.
Burrow.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah. So obviously not quarterback, running back. Are they good there?
Yeah, they have Mixon.
Okay, so maybe Maybe tight end.
There's a little bit of talent gap at wide receiver. They have a lot of guys on the roster.
The Bengals are a hard one to pick because outside of just
they're gonna
going with anyone on defense, pretty much any position probably.
Yeah.
On defense.
They could use some defenders, yeah.
So just defense. Just pick a position. Just throw a dart at the dartboard and pick someone from that position at that point for the Bengals.
Well, they only have 6 linebackers, so they could really use one.
So linebacker them. The Dolphins at 6, which I think was formerly the Niners' pick.
Yeah.
So the Dolphins here. They're not going quarterback as they did last year.
Yeah, they got Tua.
Yeah. Maybe.
And they've got Myles Gaskin at running back, Devontae Parker at wide receiver with Fuller. They got Will Fuller from the Texans.
Your team is just sending all of their stars elsewhere, like they don't even want to be in the league anymore.
It was depressing to hear that news.
Well, it was depressing to me to hear that the other receiver got traded. What's his name from the Texans at the time?
It looks like they need a linebacker and they need a left tackle for sure.
Yeah. After Miami at 6, at 7, we have the Lions, the lonely little Lions at 7.
Yeah, the poor pathetic Lions that still ain't won nothing.
Well, Stafford isn't there anymore. They traded him.
Jared Goff is not bad, but he's not stellar either, you know.
Yeah.
Looks like they needed a center for sure.
They're not going center for the Lions then. So
or a middle linebacker.
Either one.
Yeah, because they only have one in those positions.
Yeah.
And you can't do with one center. What happens if your center gets hurt? You got to start putting guards and tackles in the position, and that ain't no good.
Yeah, speaking of not really any good lately, the Panthers at 8.
Yeah, they really fell off.
Mm-hmm. Since Cam Newton left and went to the Patriots.
Yeah, they're neat because between Darnold and Bridgewater. I mean, I like Teddy Bridgewater, I always have, but he's injury prone, and we all know this. And Sam Darnold is not good. He's a bust.
Yeah, he's with the Panthers now. So he did get traded from the Jets then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're going to struggle, but they do have Christian McCaffrey. He's basically carrying the whole damn team.
Well, running back.
Yeah, well, he's like the Adrian Peterson of the Panthers right now. He's just going to carry the whole damn team.
Yeah.
But they're going to go O-line because they're really lacking on the tackle end.
Uh-huh.
They don't have enough tackles, and they also don't have enough middle linebackers either.
Agreed. At 9, we got the Denver Broncos.
Yeah. The Broncos situation is with Drew Lock. He's not particularly spectacular.
Yeah.
But they're hoping for growth there among their 3 guys, Jeff Driscoll and Brett Ripon, sorry.
So where do we think the Broncos are going to go at
9? They need O-line help, it looks like. And they also need linebackers too. They do not have near enough linebackers. So they could go safety if somebody's really high up on the board.
I think there are a couple of DBs out there that are good enough for top 10. So.
Yeah, I could see them going with a linebacker or safety. because they probably could use another safety.
And for Michael Irving, at number 10, we have the Cowboys.
Yeah. Let's see here. Cowboys. Yeah, Dak is good.
Mm-hmm.
And Zeke is okay when he's not on suspension, which he's not right now, thankfully.
Yeah.
They could use a little help in the O-line department. It looks like they're short on guards.
So
they're also short on middle line a little bit.
So the offensive line for the Cowboys. Well, they're
kind of doing well. But they only have Amari Cooper in the wide receiver core. I mean, that's all that really is there.
But didn't they get CeeDee Lamb though?
Yeah, but they've got him in like the third string, so he's gonna be like slot wide receiver.
Okay.
I mean, he's probably good, so they're probably doing okay, but they could struggle. We'll see.
So So I guess we're going wide receiver for the Cowboys, even though I probably think they're right there.
Well, I mean, first of all, they need guards. Like I said, guards is primary. So they would probably go with an O-liner, I would think.
So I'm just gonna go through and mark this. I'm gonna go through and actually start marking these. So at 1 for the Jags, we said what again?
Oh, we have to go over it again?
Well.
Okay, hold on.
Well, I just thought that I should start writing it down just now.
Okay.
So the Jags, we said that they would probably go.
Yeah, they're good at quarterback. They don't really need running backs either, and the wide receiver core is very deep. Looks like they need O-line. They need a center or a guard for sure.
So O-line is what I'm putting down for them.
Yeah, they probably would.
As a prediction. So the Jets probably quarterback without Sam there now.
Yeah, definitely.
The 49ers. What did we say?
Well, I have to go back and look at. I was just basing my assessment and looking at rosters and stuff.
Well, then what are we thinking for the 49ers if we can't remember what we said?
Well, they don't need. I mean, they've got Garoppolo. He's doing just fine. They got a good running back and good D-line. Good wide receivers and good D-line. I mean, between Dee Ford and Eric Armstead, that's perfectly good on a D-line.
What about wide receiver?
Nick Bosa. I mean, I guess it looks like they need a middle linebacker or a linebacker in general.
Then we'll go linebacker for the prediction then. And
yeah,
then
I would think so.
Atlanta, we said.
I think
O-line.
Yeah, O-line.
Bengals, we said safety or DB.
Yeah, they definitely need a safety. In fact, they need a lot of defenders.
Miami or the Dolphins, if you will.
Yeah, what's that one? Hold on. Yeah, it was let's see. Yeah, they need a tackle badly.
So O-line.
Yeah.
And same thing for the Lions, right?
I think so, yeah.
At Panthers, we said.
Yeah, Panthers was the one where we said safety, I think.
Okay. Broncos, we said. Wide receiver.
Yeah, they need a tackle. Oh. They need a tackle, and they need linebackers.
So D-line.
I mean, they're not particularly deep at wide receiver, but this would be based on the board at that point.
Yeah, Cowboys, we said defense.
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
And O-line. They would probably go with a tackle if I'm not mistaken. They would go with a tackle.
So O-line for the Cowboys. The Giants at 11.
Yeah, I gotta look at that one. I haven't seen that one yet.
Okay.
Yeah, so they got Danny Jones and Mike Glennon. That's perfectly fine quarterback. And the running back Saquon was one of the best of the year last year. Is slightly lacking the wide receiver core, but they're all right. They need a center badly because all they have is Nick Davis.
All right, so O-line.
And they could.
Wait, what?
A nose tackle,
Well,
that's
still the offensive line, right?
no. This is actually the defense. This guy would be basically a defensive tackle.
So do you want to go O-line or defensive line?
I mean, they have. You tell me. They have Leonard Williams, who's excellent, and they have Dexter Lawrence, and Danny Shelton. Those are basically the three guys on the D line.
I'm gonna go O-line.
Everybody else is either rookie, newbie, or not quite starting material.
Because you can still get something in the second round for that too.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go O-line in the first round for the Giants here. You?
Yeah, they definitely need a center.
Okay.
Back behind the Gates.
So at 12 we got the Eagles now.
Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, all they have is Joe Flacco and Jalen Hurts for quarterback. It's getting kind of old.
I'm gonna go quarterback at 12 then.
And they're kind of lame in the wide receiver core too.
Then I would probably go if they go wide receiver in the first round, they got to go quarterback in the second then.
Yeah, but they need an end. They need a tackle on defense.
They need a lot of things.
They could use a safety.
But I'm willing to say quarterback at this point with.
Yeah, or wide receiver. Quarterback or wide receiver would be what I would assume.
I would say first round quarterback, second round receiver then.
Yeah, probably.
At lucky number 13, we have the LA Chargers.
Yep. Let's see. Yeah, they need tackles.
They need tackles.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And they also need a free safety because they only have one.
Then I'm gonna go safety then for the Chargers then.
Yeah, their defense is a little lacking.
At number 14, the home team for me, the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh yeah, this is always fun to talk about the Vikings draft habits.
It's always been fun for us.
This is one where I might say they would trade, but we'll see. I mean, I have to look at their draft here. Yeah, they got Thielen still, and they got Justin Jefferson, wide receiver, Kirk Cousins. I mean, he did really great in the last few years. But I'm still
not sold on him though.
No, I'm not either because I know he's a journeyman.
Yeah, but
then they got Dalvin Cook, who's basically carrying the team.
Yeah, well, just like another famous running back for Vikings.
Like they need O-line back.
All right.
And they also need linebacker badly.
I'm gonna go O-line for the Vikings then.
Because all they have is the three guys you're familiar with: Nick Vigil, Eric Kendricks, and Anthony Barr.
Yeah.
That's their linebackers.
Yeah, but I'm still gonna stick with the O-line for the Vikings.
Yeah, they definitely know O-line most.
And now at number
Rashad Hill is their only left tackle.
At number 15, I'm surprised that they're either this low or this high, depending on your point of view at this rate. But at number 15 is my birth team, the New England Patriots.
Yeah, well, they're always aces. They're always looking for trades. It looks like they need a guard.
So, my prediction is going to be, I think
they're stacked at defense, that's for sure.
It's Bill Belichick still. It's the idiot that I want gone from the Patriots at this point. So,
yeah,
I know damn well he's going to trade out of the first round like he always does.
Sure, yeah, he would. And then he'd go for a guard in the second round, and then he'd get some kind of
fourth
or fifth round running back, and he'd put him in there.
So, therefore, I am going to just go and say that somebody will trade up here for a quarterback. at 15 at this point. So this is me not saying the Patriots are taking a quarterback. This is me saying the Patriots are going to trade out. I don't know who's going to trade in, but somebody's going to trade in and take a quarterback at 15. That's my prediction.
Yep.
You?
I would say they're going to either go with a guard first round or trade, yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm leaning more towards guard, but if there isn't any, they're going to trade.
So at 16 now is your now hometown team, the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, yeah.
What's your home team going to do you think?
Well, I know they got Hopkins at wide receiver, and they got Kyler.
Hopkins, that's the guy I was trying to remember. They got traded from the Texans to another team.
Yeah. They also have Christian Kirk and A.J. Green.
Yeah. Wait, A.J. Green's in Arizona now?
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, shit, the Bengals need a receiver then.
Maybe. But they're pretty. They had a good roster.
Anyway. Well, the Cardinals don't need quarterback.
Yeah. They do not need anybody on offense except, probably nobody on offense. So they're going to go.
What about the O-line?
Tackle or linebacker.
What about the O-line?
Yeah, I think they're pretty good there too. They got Justin Pugh and DJ Humphries.
So
Justin Murray. They got a lot of guys.
So defensive line then?
Yeah.
Okay.
They do have J.J. Watt.
Well,
also
they would want someone like there with him. So.
Yeah, Chandler Jones is at linebacker. Jordan Hicks. This is a pretty stacked team. I have to say though, they could probably use another linebacker.
Okay, so linebacker then.
I would think if it's available, they might trade out if it's not available.
I'm just gonna go with linebacker if the Cardinals used to pick. At 17, the Las Vegas Raiders. That's weird to say.
Yeah, it is.
But the Raiders at 17.
And this hopeless team.
The black hole. The black hole has moved to Las Vegas. Yeah, so.
Yeah, Derek Carr fell off the table last year, if I remember correctly. You got Marcus Mariota as the backup.
Who's not terrible.
Marcus is great. I always liked the guy. Josh Jacobs is the running back, and he's been spectacular, along with Jalen Richard and Kenyon Drake. The running back is, solid. They probably would go O-line, too, if it's available, or maybe they could use a safety once available.
Let's go safety, then, for the prediction.
Yeah.
I almost said Oakland for Vegas. At 18, we got the Dolphins again.
Yeah.
So Dolphins picking again in the first round. Previous pick was the O-line.
They got Tua and Miles Gaskin. They're not gonna go with anything on offense, I don't think, at that point.
So at 6, we have them taking an offensive lineman. They should go the other way with this one then.
Yeah, they're going to do defense after that.
So D-line?
Well, maybe linebacker.
Okay.
Or D-line. Yeah, one of the two.
I'm going to go D-line. So at 19, the team
unless there's a really good special teams player available.
We'll see.
I don't know if they do that.
At 19, the team with no name, Washington.
Yes, the team that shall not be named.
Yeah, is nobody's picking in 19. So who is nobody drafting?
Who is nobody drafting? Well, let's look here.
This is probably almost like Mr. Irrelevant of the first round then. Whoever's getting drafted by by the former Redskins.
Well, it looks like they're still riding Ryan Fitzpatrick at quarterback. They're pretty stacked on the O-line, so they're not going to do an O-liner.
The receivers are all right as well, right?
Yeah, defensive tackle might be a good position.
Yeah.
They have John Bostic at linebacker. Yeah, I think they would probably go with defensive tackle. Because they don't need an O-line, and they got Logan Thomas at tight end, and wide receiver, unless it's wide receiver. Maybe wide receiver is a possibility.
So 20 now we got the...
But McLaurin was great. At the end of last year, McLaurin was amazing.
Yeah. At 20 now we got the Bears picking.
Yeah.
So...
The lovely Bears.
With their picnic baskets.
The Bears.
Well, they're not the Bears anymore. They're just the Bears.
Yeah, I know. Some people still say it ironically. So they've got Andy Dalton and Nick Foles.
Yeah, and those are the ones still in Chicago that haven't migrated to Arizona.
So their wide receiver core is just fine.
Yeah.
And they got David Montgomery running back with Terry Cohen as backup. Mm-hmm. That's fine. It looks like they could use O-line. Tackles and guards.
Yeah, just O-line.
They definitely need defensive tackle also.
O-line for the first round, second round probably for the tackle one. Or for the defense, I mean.
Their defense needs a rebuild.
Yeah.
They've got Khalil Mack and Danny Trevathan, but that's it. And maybe Robert Quinn, if you consider him, anything but an old veteran at this point.
Well, you can kind of build your defense around Khalil, so.
Sure, that's true.
At 21, we got the Colts.
Yeah, the Colts. They've never been the same ever since Luck left.
Or Peyton.
Yeah, or Peyton. Some would say that.
Even.
But they got Carson Wentz.
Mm-hmm.
And they got a good running game.
We'll see what happens with that,
yeah. And T.Y. Hilton, Michael Pittman, Paris Campbell are the wide receiver guys. Yeah, they don't need anything at O-line, that's for sure. Unless they go with maybe a guard, but I doubt that. It looks like the ends and the linebackers are where they need the most help.
I'm going to go defensive end then.
Yeah.
22 is the Titans. They're actually a decent team at this point.
Yeah, they've got hold on here. Click on the right one here. Okay, so they've got Tannehill and Derrick Henry. A.J. Brown and Josh Reynolds at wide receiver. Yeah, they could probably use O-line for sure, especially guard.
All right. Picking at 23 is the Jets again. We have them taking a quarterback at second overall. So at number 23, where do you think we should go? With that being said.
So we have them taking a quarterback.
Yeah.
And that makes perfect sense. But after that, I guess it looks like middle linebacker for sure. Because they only have C.J. Mosley there.
All right. At number 24, we got the Steelers.
Yeah, the Steelers. Well, is it time to get a replacement for Ben?
Well, at 24th overall, that's not exactly in the top half of the first round, so I think that this would be probably an ideal spot for a heir apparent.
Yeah, either that or aside from that, they have defensive holes they really need to fill.
Because if you look back to last year, this was when the Packers drafted their heir apparent for Aaron Rodgers, apparently, and Jordan Love. So...
Yeah. But, yeah, and you're right. That would seem like a smart thing to do at this point.
I'm going with heir apparent quarterback to Ben for the Steelers here, then. As to whoever that might be.
Yeah, one can be found at that rate of the draft.
Yeah, so. At 25 is the Jaguars again. We have them taking an offensive lineman first overall. So where do you think the Jags go at 25 then with that?
This would be a matter of talent at that point. Maybe end.
Defensive end? All right.
Yeah.
We'll go with that. At 26, the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, the lovely Browns.
Yeah, but they're at 26, which means that they were pretty good then.
Yeah, but still no cigar. Baker Mayfield's wonderful. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are stellar. ODB and Jarvis Landry and Rashard Higgins are rocking it in the wide receiver. They don't need a tight end at all. They've got 3 good ones. It looks like they need defensive tackles pretty badly, though.
All right.
And definitely a linebacker.
Defensive tackle I'm going with, or linebacker.
Yeah.
At that point. At 27, we got the Ravens.
Yes, the Ravens. We had high expectations for them.
I don't care for them, so
Lamar
I don't
was
give a
kind
shit.
of lame. Lamar was lame.
Yeah. Lame
Lamar.
Lamar. Yeah. But
J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards at running back.
But
Sammy Watkins.
But
Marquise Brown running the wide receiver core.
But the Ravens are not going to jump ship from Lamar anyway.
They definitely need linebacker and tackle. That is offensive tackle.
I'm going offensive tackle then. Because Lamar needs help then.
Yeah.
At 28, the Saints.
Yes, without Drew Brees anymore.
I'm thinking that they're going to commit to one of the guys that they got at quarterback, so I don't think they're going to go for one here.
Yeah, Jameis Winston, you mean? Or Taysom Hill?
I was thinking Hill because he's a dual threat, like hell quarterback, so.
They don't need running back or wide receiver whatsoever.
Yeah.
Maybe an O-liner and definitely a middle liner. But that's like every team at this point.
Yeah. So for this,
O-line definitely needs a little help, especially if they're going to be rolling with Jameis. They're going to need O-line help big time.
So O-line for the Saints. At 29, we got the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, the Packers.
Wide receiver, I'm thinking. Just like last year.
They still got Aaron and the other Aaron Jones are coming back. They still got Devontae Adams and Scantling, Lazard. Those are good wide receivers. They still got Bakhtari and Jenkins and Patrick at O-line.
Yeah.
Maybe a tackle, maybe. Yeah, they're missing a right tackle position. It's definitely a little weak.
I'm still gonna go receiver though. At this point.
Yeah, I mean, Devontae Adams is the only top tier guy.
Yeah.
They have.
And they do need someone other than just him. 30, we got the Bills.
Yeah, the Bills were quite good.
Yeah, so.
In fact, shockingly good.
Well, the Patriots fell off. Someone had to fill that gap, and the Bills did, so.
Yeah, Josh Allen and Mitchell Trubisky are the quarterbacks, and Josh is amazing. And you got Singletary at running back, Stephon Diggs, Manuel Sanders, and Cole Beasley on the wide receiver core. They could use a line. They could use a safety too.
I'm gonna go safety then. At this point,
Hoyer and Hyden are 2 safety guys.
At 31, though, we got the Ravens again.
Another one, huh?
Yeah.
They're probably going to pick best available at that point. Which could be anything. I mean, another tackle or a linebacker, I guess. Probably linebacker.
Yeah, if it's the best available. But yeah. And at number 32, we know who it is. Right?
Yeah. It's the winners.
The world champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So who is the new Brady Bunch taking at 32, do we think?
Well, they definitely don't need quarterbacks. Unless they're planning on like ditching Brady soon.
Well, Brady said he was going to play till he can't anymore. So who the hell knows how long that's going to be? That might be another 20 years for all we know.
They need linebacker, O-line, and safety. Those are the top 3 needs.
Which one would you say is number 1?
Linebacker.
All right, linebacker for the Bucs at 32 then. And that's going to be our predictions for the NFL Draft 2021. To recap, Jags O-line, Jets quarterback, linebacker O-line, DB, O-line, safety, then a defensive line. O-line, quarterback, safety. O-line, quarterback, linebacker, safety, D-line, defensive tackle, O-line, defensive end, O-line, linebacker, quarterback, defensive end, defensive player for the Browns, offensive tackle, O-line, receiver, safety, linebacker, and linebacker. In that order. Any last thoughts about the draft night 1 coming up on Thursday?
I expect it to be semi-underwhelming.
Well, it can't be any worse than last year, in which it was largely from Roger Goodell's house. Especially since apparently the NFL intends to try to do something in an outdoor place this time, which is a lot better than last year by far. So on paper, it should be better, but we'll see like how much virtue signaling there is and that kind of shit. And that type of thing.
Yeah.
But overall, I hope that every team actually does good. And I look forward to watching this with Pat McAfee myself, so I'll be having his thing if he does anything on one screen, and I'll be watching the draft on the other for myself. Because I do really enjoy Pat McAfee's coverage of this type of thing, as well as the coverage of sports wars and black and white sports. So. With that said, is there anything else that you got, or are we ready to start doing the outros?
Yeah, we can start doing the outros.
All right, so with that said, Thursday we're obviously going to be watching the draft. Like I said, I'm going to watch it with one of those 3 sources if they're live reacting to the draft. Probably Pat McAfee before anybody else, and then watching the draft myself, depending on what time it starts and when I work the next morning if I do. What are you going to be up to later on today?
Well, I'm going to be playing some games online, obviously.
Yeah.
Not much other than that.
Yeah, I'm probably going to just be watching stuff, playing games, and then laying down at some point because I have to work tomorrow morning, so.
Yep.
With that being said, let's see, it's Monday, so I will see you probably in the next stream, hopefully Wednesday. What that is, we'll see. I'm not sure at this point in time, but I'll be playing something on Twitch or YouTube or wherever at that point. With that being said, for that content, go to Drew.Games on Twitch or Drew.Gaming here on YouTube.com. With that being said, we will see you guys Actually, Wednesday for the gaming podcast. So, with that said, we'll see you Wednesday either way. Bye for now, guys.
Bye, guys.
Fade out.